Before the video begins, I'd like to ask you all to please do anything you can to help out the people of Palestine, be it through donating, doing your daily clicks, or simply just speaking up about the genocide that they're going through. Any bit of any of these will help out a ton. I'll leave relevant links in the description below. Now onto the video. I've been itching to talk about Roblox games again, and now that I'm done with Humorous Happenings 5, the greatest clip compilation unknown to man, I'm free to do so. Now if you're watching this, there's a good chance that you're looking for something fresh and new to play on Roblox. After all, it's quite hard to find good games on here, especially if you don't want to take the time to learn the workings of a new game. Thankfully, I'm here to yap about Roblox games to a brick wall for your entertainment. And if you've been looking anywhere on your screen for the past 30 seconds, you know that this Eternity's video will be about Project Remix. Like always, if you end up enjoying this, like, comment, and subscribe because I'm trying to hit 3,000 subscribers before 2025 and it's going horrifically. Now, let's begin with a simple question. What the hell is a Project Remix? A question asked by literally nobody because I was going to get to that anyways. I'm not gonna make a video just to say, hey, go play this and just end it. Project Remix is a chaotic round-based arena PvP game. It's currently in early development testing as stated in the description, so you won't be able to spend your currency and many things are subject to change. It's still packed with plenty of maps and game modes to choose from. This, along with a wide variety of wacky weapons, abilities, perks, and remix abilities to keep the game varied and fun. Anyways, starting with weapons. Every weapon is different from one another and each of them serve their own purpose within the game. They all fall into the three categories of melee, range, and support. And even in the same category, they have their own strengths and weaknesses and their own niche. All of them are balanced and fun to use. Now, fun to play against? No. The grenade launcher and epic sauce are annoying as hell to go against. Many weapons, not all sadly, have one or multiple variants you can choose which change the function in major or minor ways, which, you know, adds a lot of variety to already existing weapons. They can also change your base stats, like the minigun and dual rocket launchers giving you more base health, or the katana making it so that you take a % more damage. Most weapons have a bit of a learning curve, so you'll probably end up spending a few rounds just trying to figure out what works for you and what you enjoy using, but since respawn times are so fast, you'll be able to change weapons in an instant and jump into the fray again. You can also take a minute to look around the Loadouts page with plenty of perks and abilities so that you can tailor your loadout to your needs. There's movement, damage, and utility abilities, so pick what works best for you and the weapon you have equipped. They're all fairly simple and fun, and don't forget that you can have two of the same ability equipped at once. And also don't forget that you have a selection of perks available to you. Some are purely upsides and others have downsides to balance them out, so pick wisely. Oh yeah, and there's also still the question of what the hell a remix ability is. They're basically your super abilities. They charge up throughout the round as you do damage or healing. You'll usually end up having around 2 or 3 per game and they can cause utter destruction. They range from stuff like a cool ass crimson katana that can lock enemies out of their abilities to the teddy bear, which that, and my personal favorite, with this treasure I summon 8 handles. Once you're done making and testing out your loadouts, feel free to save them to your loadouts page. Right click to rename them, and if you're lost on what loadout to make, you can try the pre-made loadouts to see what type of playstyle you enjoy. Now it's time to let your horrid creations loose in the various game modes. There's your obvious ones like Team Deathmatch and King of the Hill, which are quite a lot of fun, but there's also some wackier, zanier ones, like Subspace Takeover, which is like that one tower mode from Splatoon, which this game takes very clear inspiration from if you think about it for like 20 seconds. Once you know, play it of course. You still need to watch my video.
I need that watch time. I need it! You don't understand. Give me watch time. I need it!
Basically, in Subspace Takeover, there's a tower that you need to move to one side of the map while the other team tries to stop you. Furthest distance wins. It's like an endless tug of war, and it could get really, really close at times. There's also a newer mode called Crown, where 1 or 2 players have the crown, and getting kills with it is the only way to get points. Crowned players are significantly stronger and have more health, and the person that kills the crowned player gets the crown for themselves. All non-crowned players are on the same team technically, but they're still competing, they just can't damage each other. Even though this mode is really unique and cool, I really think it could use some work, as a lot of your time in this mode will be trying to whittle down the health of a crown, and then if you don't kill them, you'll have to spend another 30 or so seconds trying to snake the kill so you can actually get points and play the game. And if you were to say die right before a crowned player dies multiple times in a row, well, I guess you just don't get to play the game. My first time playing this mode, I went the whole game without getting the crown until the last minute, because every time the crown got low, I either ended up dying or someone else snaked the kill. This mode also makes it so that certain weapons, like ones that have a lot of crowd control or ones that have very high damage, are way more effective than ones that, say, require sustained fire. This mode has a cool concept, but it could really just use more tinkering. Man, I spent way too long on that. There's also capture zones, which is like King of the Hill, except you lose points for being outside the zones, and there's also 4 of them throughout the map at once. Really fun. Good mode. Most modes can be played on every map, which I really like, since the maps in this game are fun, like Creed Town, the Shipping Dock, and Glass Houses. Most of them are from other games, primarily classic Roblox stuff, but they're changed up a lot to fit the gameplay of Project Remix. A few maps also have the ability to periodically flood, but that's really on like 2 maps I can remember. And it really makes me wish that Project Remix had more interactable maps or map hazards, since the only thing we got in the way of interactability in the average map are the jump pads placed around. Imagine a map with destructible terrain, or if there were more events similar to the Flash Flood, like a tornado or a storm. It made me care about which map gets picked way more. That's basically everything for gameplay, but there's still a few more things I want to talk about before I start wrapping up. Firstly, these two, Red and Blue, which are a lot like Splatoon also, noticing a trend here, which talk about the game once it ends and hand out rewards based on performance, like doing the most damage or healing. They have a lot of silly and funny dialogue, so make sure to give them a read. Also make sure to press tab to go into settings, set ragdoll force to maximum, and set your flag ID to 17742493611. Just trust me on this. Project Remix doesn't really get any major updates, but every time I've came back after taking a break for a few weeks, there was something new or some much appreciated balance changes, like nerfing Rejuvenating Dash and Flight, which were so annoying to play against back then. I don't really have many negatives, but one issue I do think will be difficult to fix is that a lot of games end up being a one-sided steamroll, with either your team stomping the other into the ground in the first minute, or the enemy team doing that to you.
Red team, y'all can have this one. It's 29-3! Look at this scoreboard! This shit is not fair!
It doesn't mean that an effort hasn't been made to try and fix this, as Subspace Takeover has a shield keeping both teams away from the tower at the beginning of a round, so that one team can't just instantly begin a snowball by getting to the tower. And now, when getting footage, I had a Subspace Takeover game where my team won by merely a single point, which I already should, but shut up. We're clearly trying to make Project Remix the best it can be, even if you ignore these changes to improve the game, and that's great, since a lot of devs usually just enjoy letting issues turn into steaming piles of shit.
Where's the guy awakening? Midnight Horrors.
Project Remix is a truly phenomenal Roblox game in the making, and I believe as time goes on, this game will start to get the recognition it deserves. It's inspired of unique instead of derivative and bland like many other games on here. And although I doubt I'll return to this game on this channel, I'll definitely play more of it during my own time. If I could make one request, however, I think they should add Keith to a random part of every map. All of them. Every last one. If not, then I'm afraid I'll have to send my own personal cool evil sponge to homemade Mila's house. So you best heed my warning.